Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, a new Civil War grand strategy and tactical war game being developed by Oliver Keppelmuller. The game is currently in early access on Steam and will release to its 1.0 full version on September 24th. So we're coming up on that. We are in our Union Let's Play series currently, and the war is going fairly well. We just suffered our first setback. We have taken Richmond from the Confederacy. It's July 25th of 1861, and the war is going very well indeed for the Union compared to history. But we did just have the Department of Pennsylvania, about 15,000 men, I believe it was, or maybe it was closer to 13,000 men, drive east toward Yorktown, where about 20,000 Confederate militia from South Carolina were cut off, and we attempted to defeat them in battle. We were not able to do so, and that South Carolina state militia defeated us, and our force there is withdrawing back toward Fredericksburg before they can halt their, I don't think we can halt their retreat at the moment. Maybe we can, I'm not sure. We're going to see if we can halt the retreat at Richmond and reform there. But if the enemy does come pressing at us, we're a little bit low on ammo, and our troops may not hold from an enemy advance. The good news is that force of about 11,000 men now is not our primary force in Virginia. Our main force is under Irvin McDowell and has about 20,000 troops to the west, currently guarding the southern exit of the Shenandoah Valley and preparing to drive further into the Confederacy. I'd like to use that army once we secure the Shenandoah Valley to drive down toward Lynchburg and then maybe, south toward Raleigh or into the heart of North Carolina, if you will. We also have deployed an army of the valley, about 6,000 men strong, to guard the exit, or I guess entrance, into the Shenandoah Valley from the west, because there is an army of the Northwest, about 14,000 troops just south of Pittsburgh at the moment, at the northern tip of West Virginia. And so we have a force that is less than half that strength under General George B. McClellan, about 7,100 troops in the Department of the Ohio, currently shadowing it from the west, currently located in Ohio. Meanwhile, we have the Army of the Ohio under Major General Don Carlos Buell, about 4,000 men that are pursuing east, the Army of the Tennessee, which has previously been defeated in Kentucky, and they are driving east, although Kentucky is largely a vacuum here. Sort of the center part of our front is a little bit of a vacuum. We don't have enough troops, but I've been a little bit hesitant to try and raise more men at the moment, because we've got negative $184 million a month in our treasury. We have a lot of debt in our financial situation. We are working on policies that might help that. The breadbasket policy could improve our exports to Europe. And then we're also working on industrialization, but those are both about a month away. And our current financial situation is not good. It's a negative $196 million balance. You can see our revenues are short of $30 million, whereas our expenses are vast. Army upkeep is $155 million per month right now. There's just no way for us to keep up with that. So I'm not quite sure. I don't think the finances in the game are broken, but I'm not sure where I went wrong to end up that far in the red. I think to that extent, though, we are going to need to raise at least one more unit here to strengthen the Department of the Ohio before we send McClellan in to engage these boys. So if we go to the Manage Army screen here, we can see that currently McClellan has he's got 4 brigades. So let's do this. Let's create 2 divisions here, the 1st and 2nd division. 1st division, I wish, I'm not sure who to assign to these commands, just because it's like there's a lot of characters in here who I've never heard of or who aren't relevant till later in the war, I don't think. John C. Fremont is legendary for his fame, but he's not a very good soldier. At least historically he wasn't. Do we just start giving division commands to the likes of Ulysses S. Grant? I suppose. Let's put Grant in charge of a division there. So we'll put him in charge of the 1st division, even though he has no experience yet. And then the 2nd division, let's replace that commander with another major. I don't know. I guess we'll give it to Samuel Heinzelman. He's passive. He's not well known. He is liked. He is a skilled administrator. So I think that helps supplies and, keeping troops from, deserting or whatnot. So we'll have 2 divisions under McClellan. We'll put the West Virginia Brigade under Grant. We will put the Indiana Brigade under Grant. And then we'll put the 4th Brigade, which was transferred there, I believe, from the Army of the Potomac, as well as the 6th Brigade here. So 2 brigades under each divisional commander, and then we've got 1 battery of artillery, which I think we'll put under Heinzelman, and then I'll raise 1 more brigade of infantry to join the division under Grant. We have a lot of troops we could raise. We've got tons of volunteers, 140,000 volunteers currently waiting to sign up, but I don't have, like, I hate the idea of having so much debt that I'm trying to raise these troops from. The Ohio troops will be the closest, so we'll go ahead and have them be Ohio troops. They're going to be 12-month troops because we do have 12-month contracts now, so they're longer-term troops, although I want to get them to 2-year troops before I do a real big surge of recruitment. We'll give them red uniforms and gray pants, I guess, and yeah, let's go ahead and recruit these guys. 500,000 recruitment cost. We're going to go ahead and upgrade their weapons to Springfield muskets. I guess that's the only option I have, which, as I found out in my last battle, these are basically, I believe, like buck and ball, probably 1842 smoothbores. Rather, see, that's what kind of threw me, is usually, even though it was made by, I think, the Springfield Armory, usually the 1842 smoothbore is known as the U.S. 1842 smoothbore. Springfield is usually a term that's reserved for the rifle or the rifled musket variant of that, which is much better, but I digress. So we'll give them that, and they'll be raised in about 12 days. Once they're raised, then we'll have another, what are they going to be, 2,000 troops? So then we'll have about, or 10,000 troops. So then they'll have about 10,000 troops to, or sorry, 3,000. They'll have about 10,000 troops to move against the troops in Virginia. We got to make sure that they don't move on Pittsburgh. Okay. The rest of the brigades are a little bit shot up, and they're all 3-month troops that don't have much longer enlistments. Although one of the other brigades, the 6th Brigade, is an 11-month unit. Okay. So I think that does it for the Department of the Ohio. And what we're going to do there. Who are these brigade commanders anyway? Isaac Duval. Israel Richardson was well regarded. Timothy Andrews. Like, I don't know who a lot of these brigade commanders were. George Morgan, is he any good? He's distinguished, mediocre administrator, skilled in diversion, pre-war experience. Like, do I want? What are these guys who are red? Do they not get along? Could that be like feuds? Man, I don't know like any of the guys ranked major or above. But we'll give William B. Franklin a chance, right? He was a pretty bad general. Hatch was more well known. We could give it to John Gibbon. He's an artillery officer. Maybe we should put him in command of that artillery battery. George Gordon Meade. Sure, we'll put him in charge. All right. Meanwhile, we kind of showed the Kentucky situation. Missouri's kind of in a holding pattern. We've got 2 brigades of troops there, one under William Harney and then one under Edward Baker. Both about 2,000 soldiers, actually one closer to 3,000. Missouri is almost entirely in our control. It looks like Carthage in the far west and Springfield in the west also are in Confederate control, but the rest of the towns are pretty much all under Union control. We defeated the Western Army and drove them from the state a while back. So we just don't have the logistics to push into Arkansas at the moment. We need to build some supply depots and other things like that. But yeah, so let's get going, I guess. So can we halt these guys? Nope, can't halt the retreat, I guess. South Carolina State Militia still seems to be holding in place at Richmond despite their victory, so that's good news at least. Crittenden-Johnson resolution, a bill to preserve the Union, no action against slavery. The bill passes almost unanimously. War Aims resolution passed by Congress. Thaddeus Stevens abstains. I'm surprised they didn't try to follow up their victory at Yorktown and drive on Richmond. Not that I'm going to complain about that. So these guys are still retreating. Oh, what's going on? Army of Ohio. Ah! 4,000 troops under Buell against 7,500 troops in the Army of the Tennessee under Zolkoffer. I guess we're going to fight. We were crossing the river into, I guess, Western... Is this Western Virginia? Let's fight this battle, boys. I think we have two infantry brigades and a battery of artillery. We're going to be outnumbered almost 2-1. No, better. Yeah, almost 2-1. I assume we're on the offensive then? Yep, we are. Okay, they have 54 guns? Do they really have that much artillery? Good Lord. All right. Where do we enter the map? All right, up here. So the enemy positions are where? So the enemy enters the map anywhere on the southern or eastern portion of the map. We can deploy as far south as the Midwest Railroad, Battle of Point Pleasant, Virginia. I don't recognize this map. So that's cool. We'll go in a single line formation. We don't have enough brigades to toy around with different formations there. And then I think we'll just march south toward Crawford Hill. If the enemy comes on either of these two southern entry points on the map, then we may meet them down here in the open. If they come on the eastern portion of the map, then we may miss them. But they won't be this far north because this is a non-occupied entrance point. So there's 3 entry points that the Confederates hold on the map where they could deploy from. And so we're just going to go right at them. So let's go ahead and get marching. It is 7:30 in the morning, so the battle is starting early in the day. Time scale in these fights is a little messed up to me. It never really quite feels right. Okay. Are my boys crossing? They seem to be moving slowly. Also, let's make sure they're not moving at the double. They should just move at standard march speed. I don't want them to arrive exhausted. Oh, so there's a nice little wooden bridge there. So one of our brigades is crossing at a ford, it looks like. The rest of them crossed at what looks like a railroad bridge. My artillery is apparently leading the way, which maybe not the strategy that I would approve as a commander, but hey, Major General Don Carlos Buell, you lead your own troops. I just tell you where to go. All right, can we speed things up a little bit? Yeah, and the southwesternmost portion on the map is not occupied, so it's either this hex, or not hex, or this entry point. Now they can do the same thing as us. They can deploy off of the map itself. So like they may not deploy right on the edge of the map. We didn't, but there's a radius within each one of those entry points to the map that they have to deploy within. Okay. Now these red shields represent objectives on the map. We don't have to take them. They kind of, I don't think they do much more than really, I mean, in some cases I think they do direct victory points, but at the end of the day, it's really about driving the enemy from the field of battle. So it's more for the AI to understand, like, what should I be doing? Be great if we had some cavalry, but we don't. If we get stuck in the open, though, against an enemy that outnumbers us almost 2-1, I'm not sure exactly how to respond. We can pound them with our artillery, but if they really have 50 guns, if they outnumber us that badly with artillery, well, we'll have to get creative, I think. We'll have to try and flank them. I can't even really use the woods down here on the southern portion of the map. So good news, it doesn't look like they're at Crawford's Mill, which is very good news because my artillery is probably out ahead of my position, too far to be able to effectively command until we get Buell closer to the front. Looks like there might be some nice fences or things like that to defend on just south of the mill. Now, the fact that we're taking the mill from the Confederates might trigger the AI to be like, maybe I should respond to this and come after us. At least I'm assuming we're taking it. Yep. And it's ours. Okay. I'm guessing the fact that we haven't spotted them yet is telling us that they deployed over here on the eastern portion of the map. Oh, I hate the Q and E and the rotating on this map. I guess it's more useful on a battlefield. The campaign map, I always turn that off. Okay. Still no sign of the enemy. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Our troops are probably getting tired doing all this marching. Yeah, they're winded. We're trying to keep them on the roadways, though. No indication of them being out this way, so we're going to go toward Barker, whatever the heck Barker is. What is this objective? Wheeler's Crossroad? We'll go over there. All right, we mostly spend the next 15 minutes or so just marching around the map trying to find the rebels. So I'm actually going to go ahead and jump ahead to the end of the first day of the battle, which was mostly spent hunting and failing to find where the rebels are located. We'll pick this up on the end of the first day and beginning of the second day as we get ready to actually fight the Rebs. Where in the Confederacy rebel armies lay, who knows where they might be? I certainly... Oh, shit, they're there. They're coming from the north. We spotted an enemy battery of artillery. Oh, shit, they're also coming from our flank? Artillery's coming from the south and the west? Okay. Converging on our position. I think our artillery just opened up. Rebel infantry moving across the... Oh, fuck. Where's Buell? Maybe you shouldn't be out joyriding. All right. So there's a brigade of infantry coming up here. Battery of artillery and a brigade of infantry coming over this way. All right, 4th Brigade. Go engage the Tennessee. You're just going to try and engage this artillery, defeat them, and then maybe you can take on the Tennessee State Militia by yourself. While these 2 brigades guard against the enemy coming from the north. I like to fight battles on ×2 speed, but you can see here we've got a nice little duel here. Going to go with the 18 guns of Devant's battery and my 10 guns of the 1st battery here with our 12-pound howitzers. We're taking losses. The enemy's firing on us from both sides. Now, the good news is the Tennessee State Militia, I believe we fought in a previous battle, and they're blinking red, which means they're probably not, like, super eager. Charge, boys. Go get those guns. Fix your bayonets and go. Get them before they can limber up and get out of there. Charge! Hell yeah, brother. We just overran those guns. Tennessee's militia artillery are routed. That entire battery. You can see, by the way, you can order your infantry to take control of those guns also. So I can send small detachments of troops to go take that battery over. They won't be very good. Meanwhile, let's do the same thing here for these guys. Devante's battalion. I don't know why the AI is moving up the road. That feels like a mistake. What are these guns anyway? 24-pound howitzers? Nice. Oh, our commander, Colonel John Abercrombie's wounded in action. I don't think we've seen many times where our commander's been hurt in a battle. Or like one of our generals, not necessarily the commander. Okay. Mansfield's brigade, you're not going to catch them. Oh god, did I didn't order you guys to charge, did I? Oh no, you're close. Okay. Volley fire, boys. McCrae's brigade may come up on your flank, though. So let's bring you guys up over here. Let's bring the mixed muskets. Gorman's brigade. Abercrombie's been lost, so that may hurt their morale. They're given about good 1-to-1, so we must have pretty even weaponry here involved. Now, the enemy does have an artillery battery firing into us to support. But Abercrombie's boys do have the 24-pound howitzers that they're using that they, or they should be using. That they took. We're bringing the 2nd Brigade of Gorman up. So we've got about 1,000 men. Oh shit. Pull back to the stone wall. I do not want to engage in the open against an enemy greatly my superior in terms of numbers. Double time, boys. Another battery of artillery coming up. These guys aren't being fired on from the flank yet, although this brigade is approaching. About 200 casualties from the Tennessee State Militia. I'm just hoping the enemy breaks. They're blinking red. Come on, boys. Come on up. So the morale is down because they're taking casualties. They're up to about 260. So the enemy's getting a little bit better than they're getting. They have about 300 more muskets in the line, so it would make sense that they would inflict more losses on us than we on them. They also have artillery firing on us also. The enemy's retreating! They didn't have a stomach for a fight, boys. The Army of the Tennessee might be cursed. They're withdrawing. Gladden's brigade came up here, right in the face of our 12-pound howitzers. Looks like we knocked out another enemy battery over here, these guns. Go take him. Alright, so the enemy is forming up in line on the flank. I'm a little worried because I have had battles go the way of you win, but then you actually lose during the pursuit phase. So we got to be careful with Abercrombie's brigade. They are stable, but with McCraw's brigade on their flank, they may not hold very well. Now we did bring here. We just have to hold for another 40 minutes or so. The enemy doesn't seem to want to retreat, though. Move up to ×2 speed. Alright, so the 4th Brigade broke. Well, this isn't good. Well, there go 2 of our brigades. They're not retreating. Well, do we lose now? We still have the 2nd Brigade here if they come up on us to stem the tide. And we did capture 2 batteries of enemy guns. It still has us in a pursuit phase, though, so it still says the enemy's retreating. Go engage the Tennessee State Militia, boys. If they're still going to retreat, I want to inflict some casualties on them before they leave. Oh, but, like, don't just march up and expose your own flank, huh? Well, the battle ended. That's good, because we lost more than them. We lost 603 men. They lost 400. At least if you're just looking at infantry. They did lose 30 of their 55 guns, though. We didn't lose any guns. So I'll take that. That is definitely a minor victory, though. That you could quibble over that being a victory. For sure, my army was about to die. But good job, Buell. I don't know that I'd promote you over that, but... good result, I guess, is what I'll say. Not quite a Pyrrhic victory, although the morale of those troops, I mean, 2/3 of my army broke and ran. Definitely a narrow victory, I'd agree with that. The enemy has reportedly suffered 444 casualties, 77 of those were killed. We lost 610, 131 killed, 96 missing. We captured 278 rifles and 15 guns from the battlefield. Alright, so the enemy's going to retreat. We may do some pursuit damage to them that could even those casualties out a little bit. Bad weather, low food, high officer casualties. Okay, so who are the... Mansfield, Gorman. So Abercrombie's wounded in action. I don't know how that works. Like, do we... Is he just out for a period of time? Does he come back? I guess I assume we replace him, right? I don't really know. Or do we just leave him in position? And he'll come back. I don't want to piss him off because we replaced him. I guess we'll just leave our troops here. I don't want to pursue. So you can see the enemy is losing, taking casualties, rearguard actions, routing. 71 pursuit casualties suffered. 504 rearguard action casualties? Holy shit. Well, that just completely changed the tenor of that withdrawal. Point Pleasant, Virginia is ours. Oh, I'm speaking like that. I'm with the Yanks. Meanwhile, we're just waiting for that one brigade to be raised for McClellan. And then our Department of Pennsylvania troops finished their withdrawal, so we're going to send them back to Richmond. But they did get back in supply, so good for them. Meanwhile, McDowell's troops' supply situation's not great. So we're going to withdraw them a little bit closer to the depot at Manassas Junction, which is a great depot, to get them back in supply with food. All right, what's our monthly economic situation? Because we're now in August of 61. The current rating of our nation is a BBB minus, which is mediocre. Our debt increased by just 10 million, really? Current liabilities are 154 million. Okay, that's not too bad. I thought it was 154 million per month, but I guess that may just be the total. Current economic cycle is expansion. The wealth of our population is developing and increasing, so that's good news for us. Tax revenues dropped by 18 million, which if your economy is increasing and people are getting wealthier, why are your tax revenues going down? 15 companies were founded, 1 brickwork, 2 farm, 2 foundry, 7 ironworks, 2 factories, and 1 mill. Export volume last month was 18 million. 8.7 million was imported. Average corporate production over the last 3 months was 15 B. Is that billion? A change of 0 compared to the previous. Well, this is the first 3-month period. Our economy lacks transport ships. Stocks are full of food, salt, and wood. Okay. So I guess the economic situation's not as dire as I thought. Just mark all that as red. And it is now August 1st of 1861. What are our policies? How close are we getting on those? 30 days still, so another month. Okay. We have 60,000 men in arms. The rebels are up to 85,000 troops in arms, so they are definitely raising troops more aggressively than we are. I don't understand the trade warfare thing. I'd have to look into the manual to really see. Shows the accumulated and estimated cost of war on trade and infrastructure. Each nation not taking into account secondary effects like high inflation. So are the costs that we suffered or impacted on the enemy? Because why would we be losing more trade? I guess we're not really blockading the South very much. Okay. So the Department of Pennsylvania is moving back down to Richmond. Army of Northeastern Virginia is going to move back toward Manassas or Fredericksburg, I guess. We are working on expanding this depot. It's just going to be a while. 26 more days. Dear God. Come on, Little Mac. I need your troops so we can go fight the Army of the Northwest and win a great victory. The troops are unhappy, apparently, despite the fact that... Why are they unhappy? Although our disabled numbers are dropping. A Buell withdrew in the face of the Army of the Tennessee coming back. Probably a sound decision. Oh, shit. Oh, no. The Rebs are advancing on Richmond with their 26,000 state militia and my 13,000 troops of the Department of the Pennsylvania under Patterson. I really need to get McDowell down here. If I can get him there, that changes the complexion of this fight completely. Looks like did we draw more ammo or are we still low on ammo? No, we got more ammo. So that's good. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this fight. We'll have to see. Let's save this here and we will see what we're going to do in our next video. So I'll think about it a little bit and we'll see how I want to respond to the advance on Richmond by the rebels attempting to retake their capital with their state militia against the Department of Pennsylvania, which has lost a battle recently and is not in great shape. The morale of their troops is low. 5,200, or almost half our troops have low morale, a total of 4 brigades, which means they probably won't hold. But yeah, we'll see what we're going to do next time, though. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And this has been Grand Tactician, the Civil War, a early access game, soon to be fully released game on Steam by Oliver Kuppenmuller. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Leave your thoughts down below. And until next time, I'm out.